Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having an amazing day, month, week, wherever and whenever you're watching this video. I have decided for this week's video to try and read as many books as possible in the span of 12 hours. I'm going to be dividing the 12 hours into this weekend and I'm going to try and get through as many books as possible from this amazing stack that is basically my August TBR. We have chosen them last week, so if you have missed this video, please go check it out. So let's start with the books that we have on our list. The first book that we have is Cinderella is Dead. The second book we have is Atmosphere, and we are followed by Mexican Gothic. And we also have Circe, and I got Nine House. I still don't have Hellbent, but imagine that Hellbent is also in this stack, although we cannot choose it right now. And then we have Six Crimson Cranes, which is a duology, so I also have added A Dragon's Promise as well on the TBR. So we have 7 books in total that we are going to try and read in the span of 12 hours. I know it's too many books to read in 12 hours, so I'm going to maybe predict that I'm going to be reading, I think, 2 or maybe 3 books. It depends because I already know the first books that I'm going to read. I think we're going to be starting with these books because I have already read 200 pages of Six Crimson Cranes. We're going to be continuing this book and probably continuing the second book as well, because so far this book is really intriguing. So if it keeps up this pace, I'm going to be very intrigued and want to dive into the second book immediately. My aim, I think, is to try to read maybe this duology and one more book. I'm not sure how much we're going to read. Maybe we will just read these 2 books because these are 400-page books, so I don't know if I am a fast reader or not. We are going to also see how fast can I read in this challenge. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the book that I am already reading. I have already read around 200 pages of this book. We are following Princess Shiori. She lives in a kingdom where magic and dragons are real, and she herself has magic powers, but she's trying to hide them because it is frowned upon to have magic powers, and it is frowned upon to have any relationship with magic and dragons and anything magical, basically. If you do have, you're going to be outcasted. And the story begins when Shiori is off to get married a prince from another kingdom, and we see how she does not want to get married to him, and she tries to escape, and she runs off to a lake where she encounters a dragon, and they meet each other, and he understands that she has magic powers. But as I said, she's trying to hide them, and when she mentions that she met a dragon to her family, they don't believe her. Her family basically consists of her father, and she also has 6 brothers, and she has a stepmother. They all live together, and we see the dynamics between the family as well, and the relationship that Shiori has with the brothers and how much she's connected to them in different ways. Something happens and Shiori finds out that her stepmother also has magic, and when she does, her stepmother banishes her and curses her, and basically Shiori finds herself banished in the other side of the country and being in a very poor state because no one knows that she's a princess anymore. And the curse that she has is that she cannot talk to anybody and she cannot make it known that she is the princess. In order to do that, basically her stepmother cursed her with not being able to speak, because if she does try to speak to someone, one of her brothers will die for each word that she's going to say. We see that she is trying to tell people who she is, but there are consequences for her actions when she does, so she cannot even write to someone that she is the princess. So she's left all alone in poverty. She's trying to find a way to live and to return to the kingdom, and she slowly tries to find how to undo the magic spell from her stepmother. And she's not the only one that gets the curse from her stepmother. A similar curse is put on her brothers, so all 6 of her brothers also get cursed and banished, and they turn into cranes. So Shiori knows this, and she tries to find a cure not only for herself but for her brothers, and we are following her as she's trying to navigate her new life, get back to the kingdom, find the cure or undo the spell. And she also has the help of a paper bird, which is a bird made of paper that she has made and she has brought to life with her magic. And she's also trying to find help in the dragon that she has met that day. So that's what has happened so far. and I'm very intrigued to read the rest of the book. So now I will start the timer and basically read as much as possible, and probably I will finish this book today, so I'm gonna catch up with you in a few hours when I find out what happens. Things are looking bright for Shiori. I'm very glad that things seem to work out for her right now, and I hope they continue to do so because the hard times were really hard. So I just finished Six Crimson Cranes. As you see, I have stopped the timer because I went a little bit to gather myself and my thoughts in order to discuss the ending of this book. As you saw, I cried at some points because I think this book was very well written. I'm in awe of this story. It was very magical. I think I'm gonna rate this book 4.5 stars. Mainly, we continue the journey, as I have told you, of Shiori. She's trying to find a way to undo the curse that she is under and the curse that her brothers are under. And we see how she navigates these new findings and the way that she learns how to undo this spell. And we see her creating bonds with different people. I don't want to say too much and spoil it for someone because it really is one of the best reads I have read so far, and now I understand why it's so highly rated on Goodreads. I'm very intrigued and eager to hop into the second book. I don't know what to say about this book. I think you need to read this for sure. I believe that even if you're not a fantasy reader, I think it's one of the books that you need to experience, and it was truly magical the way that everything was described, the things that were happening. There were so many twists. I'm not sure how to do this without spoiling things. There are many different reasons and different ways that things happen and why they happen, and when we find out the reasoning behind everything, it's not what you expect, and suddenly I was left wondering is this true? Or are my eyes betraying me for what I'm reading right now? I think it's so beautifully crafted as a story. I do want to find out what will happen next in the next book. I think it might probably live up to my expectations as well. This is a little bit bigger than this book, but the journey that is about to unfold is crucial to the whole story, and the journey that we went in this book was also needed for the character development of Shiori. I loved how she changed, how she grew from this journey, how her values changed, how her relationships changed. The thing that strikes me the most is, as I have told you, as a female protagonist, Shiori is not able to talk. And the minute that this was described in the book, that when it happened, I was very curious as to how are we going to follow this story if our female protagonist, the main character of this book, is not able to talk to other people, is not able to communicate with other people. But it was done so beautifully, and it was, I have no words. I think that this author is one of the best storytellers I had the privilege to read, and I'm very happy that this book was on my bookshelves. I have to blame the cover for that, as it's one of the most beautiful covers I have seen as well. But also inside the story is a beautiful story, and it's a story about forgiveness and about finding yourself and about finding your morals and about finding if you want to be part of the good side of the history and the lengths that you're going to go to save the people that you love. Everything that was described in this book was phenomenal, and I hope that you get to read it one day. I will now dive into book 2. I think this will be even harder to describe because it's the second part of a story that I want you to experience, but I will try to my best. And yeah, I want to find out the rest of the story. So I will be starting this now and let you know what I think about it. Hello again, it is the next day. Yesterday I did not manage to finish the reading challenge. I did not manage to hit 6 hours. I just stopped when you saw that I was left off, meaning we hit around the 4-hour mark. And yeah, I just got really sleepy and I couldn't continue reading. It would just be pointless because I would forget everything that I read after that. So today, Sunday, we have a long day ahead as we're going to be reading for 8 hours in order to finish this challenge. And before we start reading the next book, I want to talk about a little bit more about Six Crimson Cranes. And basically, I would like to change my initial rating, and I think I'm gonna give this book 5 stars. Officially, we have found the first 5-star of my reading progress, and yeah, I'm very excited. I thought about this book whilst I was getting ready for bed, and I just enjoyed so many aspects of it, and I was trying to find a flaw to tell to myself why did I not give it 5 stars from the start, and I couldn't find any flaws. So I thought about it again, and yeah, I'm going to rate this book 5 stars, and now we're going to start the second book, so hopefully both books get a 5-star. That would be amazing. But yeah, I just wanted to update you on this because I'm very excited that I finally found a book that matches what I wanted and what I was craving from a book to give me. I'm very excited that this is the first 5-star book I have read, and yeah, I'm very excited to continue the story and maybe rate the second book a 5-star as well. And yeah, I'm very excited to follow the journey of these characters and where we see them next. So I will start this today. I have here the counter on my tablet again. We have 8 hours, 9 minutes and 53 seconds. And based on yesterday's pages that I read in the span of the 4 hours, I calculated about 64 pages per hour. So if that is the case for this book as well, because I don't know if I'm going to follow the same reading speed, because in the first book I was also trying to understand the lore, the history of things, but now I go into this book with knowing more things, but this book is a larger book than the first book, so if we continue with the same pace, I'm going to be able to finish this book in around 7 hours, so we most likely be able to pick up one more book on the last hour or so. So yeah, I'm very excited to dive back into this world, and as I said, maybe even give this book a 5 star. I'm very excited. I don't want to read the synopsis again. I'm going blindly. I want to find out what will happen in this journey on my own. So yeah, let's get started. So I have been reading for like half an hour so far, and I've read chapter 4. And basically, we're following again Shiori. On the previous book, at the ending, she had to go to the dragon's realm. We see as she gets there because he has something that the Dragon King wants. And it seems that things do not go as expected, as the Dragon King is trying to basically steal what she has and possibly kill her in the process. The dragon that she has met previously, and in the first book, he's trying to help her in many unconventional ways, I might say, because what happened right now is a very weird twist that I don't know if this will be the outcome of what just described, but if it is, basically her mortal life will be over. So I'm very eager to see what's going to happen, and I will let you know. So we have 5 hours and 52 minutes left on the timer, but I just have reached page 148, chapter 16. So far, this book, I have to say, it's not as intriguing as the first book, because on the first book, we had the whole thing with Shiori not being able to communicate. That was very intriguing, as you were trying to find out how is the story going to progress. Whilst here, it's mainly action focused, and we see Shiori being in the Dragon Realm and trying to find some answers regarding the things that happened in the first book. And we see her as she's getting into trouble with different dragons. She possesses something that many dragons want to claim and want for themselves. So she's having different bargains with different dragons that lead to different things that basically put her life in danger. So we see how she's trying to survive through all of this, and I think I'm not enjoying it so much as the first book, but I am just like I think 1/4 of the book in, because this book has 400 pages. So there's still plenty of time for the book to become worthy of the first book, because right now it's not like they are different stories. It's just like I don't like the way we are going through the story at the moment. It's not like it's bad, it's just that it's different, and I think there are a lot of things here. They are essential to the story because we learn stuff in order to be able to solve the mystery that we are trying to solve through this book. It's just that I think some of the scenes could be cut down and not take so much time of the whole book. We see her friendship with the dragon, her friend dragon evolve, and how he's trying to help her in her journey. And right now, she has come back to the mortal lands. And yeah, we are going to start this chapter now when she is back. And I am eager to see where the story goes. It's just that I hope that it picks up more. There was action, so it didn't feel like too dull to read. It's just that it was action that I was not really interested in. We found out many things about this new kingdom, and there was a lot of lore regarding how the dragons are and what are their values and what are the rules of the dragon realm. But I hope they come into play and we didn't learn all these things for nothing, and it was not just filler for the book. So yeah, I'm eager to see how the story progresses. I have to admit though, I'm getting kind of tired, and I think it has to do with the fact that the book is not gripping me at the moment. But we have 6 hours left, so if I see that I read 100 more pages and I see that it's not intriguing enough for me anymore, then I probably move into another book, although I want to finish the duology. So I will try my best to go through it and come to the other side successfully. But yeah, 6 hours are a lot, and the time right now is almost 8, which means I will probably have to read up until 2 a.m. and I don't know how that will go because tomorrow is a work day. It's Monday, so wish me luck. I will try to do my best. Right now, I'm slowly getting sleepy because of where the story is going, but I hope this will change soon because I think it has the aspects to become a very good book, and I don't think, because based on the name, that was the last that we saw of the Dragon Realm and the dragons. So the 12-hour readathon is over. I managed on Sunday to read up until 2 a.m. and I was exhausted. After that, I could not vlog anything. I just went immediately to bed. And now today it's Tuesday, so I needed one more day to rest and, gather myself and be a normal human person that can do things. For sure, for my next readathon, I will not be leaving the time to run so late, especially since I have a full-time job, which starts at 9. So I have to wake up at around 7 a.m. So yeah, I will not be doing that in the near future, or if I do that, I'm going to be doing it in a more normal hours than the ones I chose because I don't know what I was thinking. What we read in this 12-hour readathon, I have not talked to you too much about two of the books here, so we will start with the second book that I finished during the readathon. It's The Dragon's Promise, which is the sequel to Six Crimson Cranes. And the things that I told you that bothered me on like the first 30%, well, the first 30% was nowhere to be found in the rest of the book. I think that part was like a different book because on the first 30%, we are going with Shiori on the Dragon's Realm, and we learn so much about the dragons, about the lore, and how they live their lives, and so on. And then after we leave the kingdom, dragons are not mentioned again for the rest of the book because the rest of the book changes plot and suddenly we are trying to find demons and a whole new area is explored, a new island, and we are mainly focused on demons and we are mainly focused on Shiori's stepmother. It might have been a good story, but not compared to Six Crimson Cranes because for me this was a 5-star and this was a 3-star, which seems like a big difference, and it is a big difference because here everything was interesting. I wanted to find out what's going to happen. I was intrigued for the female protagonist because of the circumstances that she was trying to navigate, but here Shiori finds out a lot of things about her past, about her stepmother, but it's not something that kept me engaged throughout the book. I don't know why it was such a flop for me. I think I highlighted one or two things, and I think those were in the first 30%, which was the part that I didn't like so much that I told you before, and now eventually is the only part that I liked from this book because the dragons was a very interesting part. But then we went into the demons and we went into the places where the demons live, and I'm very disappointed. And it was a good read for once, but it's not a book that I'm going to pick up again. While Six Crimson Cranes is one of the books that I really enjoyed, and if someone asked me, I would recommend it to them 100%. And if I could maybe reread it and go back to it blindly, I would choose to do so because it's a very beautiful story depicted here, and I'm very glad that I read it. So I don't know why we went so sideways with this book, but the first book is worth it, and I think you should definitely read it. The second book, you can read it if you want to find out what happens to the characters and if you're attached to them, but it's not something that everybody will enjoy. I think there might be people that find this amazing because it dives deep into the lore of things and it gives conclusion to many unanswered questions, but it was not the experience I wanted out of the story, and it's not like I didn't want the ending that happened. The ending was fine. It's just that the execution to reach that ending was very mid for me. After that, for the last 2 hours, I started reading Mexican Gothic, which is also part of our TBR. I had read 122 pages. I stopped on chapter 11, and so far this book is intriguing, but it's not really captivating. I have not read the synopsis for this book. I just know that it's a horror mystery. We're following our female protagonist, Naomi, and she gets a letter from her cousin. Cousin is basically saying that she believes that there are ghosts inside her house and that these ghosts are trying to hurt her. Naomi's father asks Naomi to go and visit her cousin, Catalina, and Naomi does visit her, and we are in the house with her, and we are experiencing some very weird things with her, and there's the vibe of the whole house is it's giving very much haunted, and it's giving very much not being cared for a long period of time. There's also a cemetery there. It is spooky. It has some eerie vibes with things the way they are described. I'm just not 100% sure what we are dealing with, because at some points I think the outcome is that we are dealing with ghosts or something paranormal of that sort. And the next thing I see is describing some things with the family, and I'm getting weird vibes of either they are a cult or they are vampires or something similar. And I am very much looking into continuing this book throughout this week and probably finishing this. So yeah, those were my thoughts. So we basically read, I think we can't say that we read 2 books, because we read 200 and something pages of Six Crimson Cranes, and we finished this book and we gave it 5 stars, and it's the first 5 stars we are giving in this channel and me as a new reader. So I'm very glad that I found something that piques my interest, and I found something that really captivated me and wanted me to continue reading it, and it's a fantasy, so that's extra bonus for me because I want to get back into fantasy. So if you have any more recommendations similar to this book, please drop them down below, because I would very much like to read more books like this. Eventually I want to dive into more books that have similar vibes. So if you guys know any books that have the similar feeling, the similar journey of a protagonist, and are intriguing as this book, please write them in the comments, and I will do my best to read them and tell you if I like them or not. Then we read the whole book of The Dragon's Promise, which we did not like so much. I gave this 3 stars. And finally, we started reading Mexican Gothic, in which we read around 120 pages or so. I would call this a successful readathon. We found a 5-star, which is very, very important. And I will put here the stats of the books that we read. And I hope I will see you again on my next video. I'm so glad that you are here today with me as we did our first readathon together. And I want you to let me know if you liked any of these books that I read, if you are willing to pick up any of the books that I read, what are your thoughts on them. Mexican Gothic, I probably will review it on my next video that I will be posting next week. And I'm so glad that you stayed here with me, and I hope you enjoyed your time, and I hope you had fun. And let me know if you liked the time-lapse part of the video, or if you liked the more descriptions that I tried to give throughout the reading process of these books. Unfortunately, I was choosing to read at night, and I like reading at night more, but that does not make me very talkative when I read at night because I get very sleepy. But I will try to do better next time. So I hope you're here with me to see it, and I hope I will see you again on the next one. Thank you so much for being here with me. I don't take it for granted. Goodbye.